So are we supposed to start the podcast?
1, 2, 3.
You didn't say ready.
Oh, because why? Because I said ready, okay, in my head. Okay, ready, 1, 2, 3. Ah, that was fantastic.
Fantastic.
If I do have to toot my own horn a little bit.
Pumps, what have you had it with?
Okay, what I've had it with is returns. I love to shop online. Love it, love it, love it. But what I've been doing lately is I've been buying stuff and thinking, okay, if I don't like it, I'll return it. I feel like they're making returns harder. Like they just don't give you the return label in your bag. You have to go through your email. You have to go get a box. You have to take it and get it returned. So what I find myself doing is collecting a lot of shit that I'm never going to wear, that I don't want, because it's like the return process is so hard.
What's so hard about it?
I feel like there's so many steps to a return nowadays. You have to go find the email to print the return label. Then you have to go back into the email and find why you're returning it. Then you have to go get the box. Then you have to take it up to the return.
It's hard to be pumped.
It's just, I hate returns anyway. It's gotten to the point where I don't even want to buy something because I don't want to return it.
I'll tell you what, I take pride in returns.
You do?
I do. I used to not like them very much, but then I found this pack and ship place right by my house. They have UPS, FedEx, United States Postal Service, blah, blah. So if I buy something online, which I do often, try it on and I don't like it, I look through the box it was sent in or the bag that it was sent in. If I don't see a return label, I enthusiastically sit down at my computer, print that label, and run it up to the pack and ship, which they enthusiastically tape up for me. We just send it right back. And then oftentimes within like 2 hours, you get an email. We're tracking your return. Like it's sent a notification to the people.
See, here's my problem. This particular dress that I bought, I have an account from like 100 years ago, like literally 15 years ago.
And an email account?
An email account. Okay. Like I've had the account with the store forever.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so the email account that I had, I no longer have. So I bought this dress. It's delivered to me. I need to go in my return. I need to go find the email for the return, but I can't get into the email anymore because I don't have the email. So now I'm sitting on this dress that I hate.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do about it. And I guess the next step would be calling
customer service.
Misery. And I mean, that whole process seems overwhelming to me. Like I'll just take the hickey on the dress and just keep a dress I hate.
No, you're stuck in a very precarious situation.
It's bad.
There's no question about it.
And then I thought about doing the chat with the person on the internet, but isn't that a computer? Like when you're on the app and it says, do you want to chat or ask about sizes? It's not a real person, right?
It's AI, which brings me to my grievance.
Oh,
and what
okay.
I've had it with today is AI.
Really?
I've had it. I'll be on Instagram and I'll see this like beautiful beach club. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I wonder where that is. Well, it's fake. It's AI. And then I'm scrolling and I see this adorable fluffy French bulldog.
I've gotten caught on that one.
It's fake. It's a fake dog. And so I don't even know what's real or fake anymore. And furthermore, don't make these really cute, perfect, photogenic Frenchies that we can't have because they're not real. Don't do this to us. And then apparently, I don't know if you know this, there are like AI people that have millions of Instagram accounts and they're not even a real person.
What?
Yeah.
So how do they post? Like the computer posts or somebody running the AI?
I don't know. But there are fake people that have fake computer generated outfits, face, everything. And it's a complete fake account and people follow it and they get millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of likes, tons of comments. None of it's real.
Do people think it's real?
I have no idea.
See, that's what I worry about is people thinking it's real. I mean, you could turn that into a catfishing scam easily.
Yeah.
This AI person could do that with a million other people and say they're like this gorgeous, hot guy. Really, they're just a computer program.
Right.
See, just a lot of fuckery. I have had the French bulldog one when I was looking for Ollie. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the cutest little fluffy Frenchie I've ever seen. And it was AI. It's really disappointing.
No, it's devastating. And imagine how, like some lonely old guy or gal that lives, in rural America meets some AI person, gets completely catfished, which I think happens all the time.
Right. Even with
Regardless
real
of
people.
AI or not AI.
Yeah.
You can just pull a Google stock image or whatever. But I've just had it with this artificial intelligence because it's like, why don't we just post real stuff? Like, and maybe there can be an app, an Instagram for AI, but I don't want the AI stuff
To get mixed in.
with the real stuff. I don't like the real stuff contaminated with the AI. I want one platform to just be pure. These are real photographs. These are real places. These are real dogs. These are real people. This is a real whatever the thing is. I don't want the fake shit mixed in with the real shit.
No, I think that's a great point. Just have an AI Instagram. You could do all your AI stuff on there.
And it just goes back to there's just no oversight with any of this stuff.
No, there's no oversight. And I feel like it's going to get worse as AI gets better. It's just going to get more and more prevalent where you don't know which is which.
Yeah. Well, it's like with, that chat, what's it called, Kylie? Chat, GTP, whatever. Like you can ask it any sort of question and it can basically write an essay for you.
What?
Yeah.
Like for a college student or a
Yeah.
high school student?
Yeah.
You just say what the paper's supposed to be
Yes.
about and it's not plagiarized, so it can go through all those plagiarized programs?
Yeah.
See, I just feel like that's going to make humans dumber.
Yeah. Think about how much dumber we're already getting. You and I were talking about this the other day. There used to be an art to navigation.
Mm-hmm.
It was an art form, listener. Like if I was going to tell Pumps to meet me somewhere, to a place where she had never been before, I would give her directions because we didn't have navigation on our phones.
Right.
And I would say, okay, you're going to head down Pennsylvania. You're going to turn right on this street. Then you're going to see this weird looking tree. You're going to turn left right after the tree, blah, blah, blah. And if I gave good directions, she would say, oh my God, you gave excellent directions. I didn't get lost one time. But then there were the people that were the bad direction givers.
Yeah.
And you'd kind of get gossiped about. Well, that Pumps. She gives terrible
Terrible directions.
But the situation is you had to troubleshoot. You had to, in real time, troubleshoot and problem solve how to get to your destination. Well, that's been completely removed. And I have to admit, I like the navigation. When I'm going somewhere, it guides you right to it. It will reroute you around, wrecks and what have you. But I do think that the smartphones are creating dumb people.
My kids can't go anywhere, even if they've been 1,000 times without their maps because they're just not paying attention. They're so dependent. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what's going to happen if your phone dies at some point? You have no idea where you are. They just don't care. They just assume they'll never be without their phone. And maybe they're right. Maybe they'll never be without their phone. But I do think it's a problem when you don't know your surroundings at all and you're completely dependent on the maps.
Well, I think we're already seeing the problems with phones. When you look at the statistics of anxiety, depression, self-harm, all of these things with the generation that was raised with cell phones in their hands. The statistics are in, and it's not good. Like there is a definite emotional toll. Right. And psychological toll that it has taken on people to not, even as something as simple as figuring out how to get from A to B by yourself made you feel, oh, I did that. Right. It made you feel somewhat accomplished. When everything's done and figured out for you, then you don't have those little atta-girl moments with yourself where you've been able to troubleshoot, solved a problem. Maybe you got lost, but then you were able to unravel out of it and actually find your destination. Those simple things, those simple ways that you can make yourself feel good about yourself are eliminated. A lot of those are eliminated by phones.
Right. And I think a lot of things on the internet make people feel bad about themselves, especially teens. Like I think I read an article and you'll probably know, but like for every one picture somebody posts of themselves, it took like 100 shots to get the picture. Plus they edit it. And so they're just completely unrealistic. And everybody on the social media acts like, oh my God, we're having the best time ever. And really they're not. So other people feel bad about themselves.
Well, they're not having fun because I've seen these people. I've been to lunches on vacation where I know that these people sitting next to me didn't enjoy their lunch because they were engaged in a psychotic photo shoot. They didn't enjoy anything about it. Every bite was staged, the sucking up the pasta through the lips, 95 different photographs for that. It's fascinating to watch, but I know for sure that the Instagram feed that these people put out, because rest assured I found it, and what their lunch looked like were two completely different realities. These people weren't enjoying lunch. They were creating content, which is work. It was a working lunch for them and an annoying lunch for everybody else in the restaurant because we had to watch these morons shooting their content instead of putting their phones down and enjoying lunch. I've had it.
Had it.
Welcome to I've Had It. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Angie.
She's the star of the show, America's greatest legal mind, and a scholar in a lot of things.
Especially clapping. I'm really good at that.
She is. Kylie.
Hi.
Hi.
I've got some reviews for you today. I've got a 5-star from C Sorrow titled #Team Jennifer. And they write, "These insufferable hags are to die for. Never before have I felt so seen as a 23-year-old gay man. Although now I understand why the Trump supporters blindly follow their leader. Every time Jennifer opens her Botox lips and says her opinion, I immediately agree. #Team Jennifer. No hate to Meemaw, but Jennifer is just relatable like that."
That's nice. I never get the relatable ones. You are always get the more relatable.
You're the leader.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Kylie.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, 5 stars titled Up to My Eyeballs. I started listening to your podcast about a month ago, and I've just come to the conclusion you guys are definitely the worst influence ever. I found myself ironically and unironically using the word patriot more in the last week than I ever have in my life. Jen and Pumps have nothing better to do than sit around and complain, and I've got nothing better to do than sit around and listen. Be proud, be gay, be hipster.
I love that's a patriot right there. If
That's
I've ever
a patriot.
Heard one.
You know what I love? What warms my heart more than anything on the planet is we're taking the word patriot back. I have had such a problem with all the MAGA people saying, oh, we're patriots. You tried to overthrow the government, hang the vice president. Like, you're not fucking patriots. You are not patriots.
They support a man who wants an authoritarian form of government.
Right.
That is not, you can say that you're political, but you cannot say that you are pro-America.
No.
That just cannot exist.
So I love that we're taking patriot back for people that believe in democracy. I'm here for it. I'm excited about it. It revs me up.
All right, Pumps. Well, today we have a guest that is a sensation with the millennials.
Yep.
And her social media name and nickname and kind of brand name is Tinx. She's a digital creator and advice expert, host of the It's Me, Tinx podcast, and New York Times best-selling author of The Shift. We're so cool. We have these cool millennial guests on.
I must be younger than I actually look.
We're cool.
We're cool because we have cool guests.
We attract cool millennials.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because we're young at heart.
That's right. Pumps, after working all day and then going to play tennis or pickleball, I feel like I'm constantly on the hunt for the perfect, softest, most comfy loungewear on the planet.
That's why I love my Skims lounge sleep set. It is so comfortable. I immediately put it on after work.
I recently ordered the Soft Lounge Tank Plus Boxer. It is the best tank top I've ever worn, and I feel like I've tried every ribbed tank top on earth. The Skims products are just next level. every single item I purchase from them, immediately replaces all previous items, and has become the top of my list, my most favorite item I've ever purchased. Shop the Skims Soft Lounge Collection at skims.com. Now available in sizes XXS to 4X. And if you haven't yet, be sure to let them know that we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. Pumps, I think a lot of people don't realize that hormonal imbalances are not just about PMS. You can feel like a ticking time bomb no matter what stage you are in being a woman.
That's why I like Hormone Harmony from Happy Mammoth. It relieves stress, bloating, and helps me sleep better, and the mood swings aren't as bad.
It totally helps relieve PMS, reduces cravings and irritability, and I've found it to help my skin nice and clear. But don't just listen to us. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. That's how effective this product is. There are over 13,000 Hormone Harmony reviews on the Happy Mammoth website alone. Listener, you can get your first bottle of Hormone Harmony for 15% off if you use the code HADIT on the checkout page. All you have to do is go to happymammoth.com and be sure to use the promo code HADIT on the checkout page. All right, let's welcome the digital creator, advice expert, host of It's Me, Tinx. Tinx, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
How did you come up with the name Tinx? Is that a nickname? Because I call her Pumps, which is like a great nickname, and I've called her that for like 20 years. But Tinx is also a great nickname.
Yes, it was a nickname from when I was honestly super young, like 12. It just kind of stuck. It was my alter ego at first because I wasn't that confident. So I came back from summer vacation one year and said, "Oh, you guys, like this is my alter ego. When I'm her, I'm really confident." And slowly but surely, I just sort of became Tinx, and the nickname stuck.
Sasha Fierce kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I love
Gotcha.
that. Here's the deal. We need to get petty, Tinx, okay? We need to get as petty as all get out. So we want to ask you what you've had it with.
The Cybertrucks, had enough of those. They take up 2 parking spaces in LA where I live. I think they're ugly. I think they scream midlife crisis. And I think they're the physical embodiment of Elon Musk. So I had just about enough of those.
Do you see these a lot in
I've
LA?
never seen one.
I saw one.
You've never seen them? Oh, I haven't made it to Oklahoma yet, but well, there's a lot in LA. There's actually 2 on my street, if you can believe it or not. So those are pretty, those are pretty rough.
A Cybertruck.
You've seen them. They look kind of like a Mars, like a machine that would be on Mars. I mean, it's a next level like little dick energy thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm the queen.
Totally.
I mean, I'm the queen of like spotting little dick energy because it's like the bigger your car, the bigger your tires, the bigger your truck. Almost always, it's because you're overcompensating. So this Cybertruck thing, I cannot wait to see it in the flesh.
Okay, here's something you messaged us about, which I think is hilarious. You wrote, people posting, quote, "we did a thing" on engagement posts.
Yes, that's such a millennial core. It's very chuggy. I don't think it's creative. I think that it's embarrassing and people need to find a more creative way to announce their wedding, engagement, having a baby, whatever it is. I think it's even better to just be simple and say, best day of my life or such a happy day, something like that. I think we did a thing is just completely run its course and we need to fully stop saying it. And I'm mostly to my fellow millennials.
Okay. So I need a definition. My daughter said chuggy over the weekend, and I was too embarrassed to tell her I didn't know what that means. And then you use it. What does that mean? I tried to roll with like I knew what it was, but what does that mean?
Chuggy is embarrassing in a specifically millennial way. So wearing, kind of like a live, laugh, love sign, or wearing like a long oversized scarf, or I don't know, loving fall or something like that.
Loving fall.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think, in the same vein of like engagement photos, baby photos, wedding photos. Do you think in general we're sharing too much, or do you like all of that sharing?
I think it's a personal level of comfortability that everybody has to find. I mean, I like seeing my friends post on social. That was the original intent. I think it's just gotten so far from, the original intention. And it used to be a really great way to catch up with people. But the issue is now most people who aren't influencers or don't have a platform are posting less and less. They're just not encouraged to, because it feels like, Instagram is more a place for entertainment now. So I like when people post. I understand totally different conversation with kids. There's definitely some weird stuff that happens on TikTok with the family bloggers. They do share a lot, and whether that's good or not is not for me to say. I'm not a parent, but I've seen a lot of think pieces about the, digital footprint of these kids who don't have a choice whether they're online or not. And that's, definitely something to consider.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I think that maybe it's subjective. If I like the person, then I like seeing their stuff. But sometimes you have these forced follows. You have these
Right.
people in your life you're forced to follow, your acquaintances. You see them frequently. You
Mhm.
don't really like them one way or another. And the next thing you know, you're following them on Instagram, and then you're a hostage to all this oversharing. And then I can get so irritated, like I fucking hate this person.
Right.
But I don't want to go through the whole, she unfollowed, is she mad at me? It's like there's a whole extra layer of friendship management and acquaintance management that you have to do now that we didn't have to do when we were your age, that you have to do not only in real life, but then also like you have to manage the social media relationships, which is an
Yeah.
extra component of hurt feelings, rejection. She didn't like my post. She didn't share my post. She untagged herself. It seems like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all of it, but some of it seems unhealthy to me.
Yeah, it's definitely another layer of management of friendship. And I know what you mean. There's some people that you just have to follow. I mean, that's what the mute button is for, so that you don't have to see their stuff if they're annoying you.
Yeah.
But I definitely have a couple people where I follow them and then immediately just regret it. And people, it's annoying. So I'm sure people want to unfollow me too, or feel like they're beholden to me, but it's definitely a strange extension of our physical friendships.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is it chuggy? Now I'm obsessed with that word. So like, are these pictures of people with their coffee foam in shapes and stuff? Is that chuggy, or is that too old to be chuggy?
No, that's Chugi. That's a good example with the caption like, but first coffee.
But first coffee, I have seen that.
I have too.
It's bad.
It seems like somebody who had the original but first coffee nailed it. I mean, they
Yeah,
crushed
I'm
it.
sure they absolutely crushed it. I'm sure people loved it. But now ever since then, it's just so overdone, and we don't need any more pictures of coffee, sadly.
No.
Yeah. All right. Here's one I think is great. Getting asked if you want to turn your story into a reel.
Yeah. So every time I add a story on Instagram to a highlight, and I post a lot of stories, that's how my community likes it. I post a lot and I add it to my story. It will say, do you want to turn your story into a reel? And it's like Instagram. I don't want to turn it into a reel. And it's every single time. And I post a lot of reels, and it's the most annoying. It triggers this question. And I don't know why at Meta, they haven't figured it out. Nobody wants to turn their story into a reel. Like absolutely nobody was like, oh yeah, actually I do want to turn this 2-second story into a full 60-second video. Like, why hadn't I thought of that before? I don't need them to help me with the inspiration. I really don't at all. I just need them to make a better app. Like I just need that from them. I don't know why it annoys me so much, but it's just because they ask me every single time, and I've had enough.
Yeah, I get something every time I open my Instagram. I get a deal from them. I don't even know what it says because I just immediately exit out, but maybe that's what it's telling me, that I need to make a reel. But it's always asking me if I want to, maybe it's something to do with boost. Is that a thing? Do you want to boost this?
Oh yeah. It's like, do you want to, you can boost your content. And it's like, no, we don't want to pay to, no. Like,
yeah, I'm like, no, I don't want to do anything that you asked me to do. I just
Yeah.
X you immediately.
exactly.
No, for the first time that happened to me, because I'm not super techie, like I don't really know how to make a reel, how
Right.
like Kylie, that our producer, or Seth, they can make these really cool TikTok reels or Instagram reels. I don't know how to do it. I've tried, I fail. I'm not very techie. So the first time it kind of like made one for me, I didn't post it, but I was like, oh, this is really cool that it made this. And I felt this peer pressure from the Instagram robot that I needed to be doing more. And then I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You're in your
Right.
late
Yeah.
40s. Why do you give a shit? Why are you posting this? But have you found, like, you have your Tinx, and you have your life that you live with your friends and the people that know you. And then you have your Tinx extension on Instagram. And this is the way I describe it to people that ask about pumps to me. They're like, are you guys wound up all the time? Are you mad all the time? I'm like, no. I mean, look, we're cynical and we've had it with a bunch of shit, but that's like 10% of our life. And on our
Yeah.
podcast, it becomes 100% of our life.
Right.
But the majority of, our life, we're not sitting around just matter and hell at stuff.
Totally.
And so how much of your identity of Tinx, the social media sensation, and then you living your life with your friends, I would say ours is what, 10 to 15%?
Yeah, maybe 20 sometimes.
20 if
Yeah.
we're really fired up.
Right.
What about you, Tinx?
As in, how much of my life do I put online? I mean, I sadly put most of my life online. That's, I have a very close relationship with my community, which I really like. It definitely has its pitfalls, but I think, I don't know, that's just how I started, and that's how I carried on. I share so much of myself, and I think it's important to show up as who you are. And sometimes I'm a ball of sunshine, and sometimes I'm also really pissed off at things. And I think it's important that we show women that, like, you can be many things, because usually with women in the public eye, they like to put women in boxes, like, oh, she's the mean one, she's the sexy one, she's this, she's that. And I think it's important to show that we contain multitudes. And sometimes I'm a raging bitch, and sometimes I'm super nice, and sometimes I'm funny, and sometimes I'm sarcastic. And so I really do try to be as honest as possible with my community, because I think that authenticity is so important when it comes to community building.
And I think it's just more relatable. I mean, I think
Totally.
the Instagram posts or feeds where it's just cupcakes and rainbows all the time, they really kind of piss me off, because I know how
Right.
unrealistic it is that every day is a 10. So I think it's good to show people online the human experience. And the human experience is sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're jealous, sometimes you're mad. All of the stuff wrapped up into one. But I will tell you that, like, I think your followers dig the shit out of you. Madison, that works for me, I mean, she just worships you. And I think it's that authenticity that you have.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like you said, life is a box of chocolates. Like, some days are good, some days are bad. And I think that there's the downside of social media is that it feels like there's pressure to have, like you said, a 10 out of 10 day every single day, but that's just not real life for anybody. And so I think finding the little joys, even if it's like a 2 out of 10 day, I always tell the people who follow me, like, try to seek joy, not happiness. I think trying to be happy all the time is such a tall order. And I read this article on Goop many years ago that really changed my life. And it was about how you should seek joy, not happiness. Happiness is like measure of contentment over time. Joy is more achievable and attainable. So you can think like, okay, I'm having a really shitty day, but I know that this specific like special coffee really sparks joy for me. I'm going to drive 10 minutes out of my way to go get this special coffee for me, because like I need a little joy spark right now. Or going to get your nails done, or whatever are the things that really just are little bright spots of joy in your day. That's what we should focus on, because this pressure, like, be happy. That's a way bigger thing that you have to work on over time. And I think just by focusing on the little joys, you can really take the pressure off.
You know what was a game changer for me in my life? And it probably happened in my early 40s, but was being able to find joy in total boredom.
Right.
That was a total, like, I broke a barrier there. I didn't have that itch that I needed to be doing something. I need to be talking to a friend, that I need to be texting somebody, that I didn't need to be doing puzzles with my kids. But when I had nothing to do, and that when you're in your 20s and early 30s, that itch comes up that you have to have something to do, being able to just go, I have nothing to do and I'm going to find joy in just being. And that was a real like eye opener for me. And now I love to be bored. And I have found embracing boredom completely has changed my life. Like I love to be bored and be with myself and not feel like I have to get on my phone, not feel like I have to watch something, but I can just sit and be. And it took me, I mean, I was probably 42, 43 when I figured that out. A long time.
I think one thing for me that I find, like, I like to be alone. I'm not lonely being alone. And I think it takes a while to be alone where you're not lonely and figure out. I mean, that was really something I learned during my marriage. I was married to someone, but I was lonely. And I'm a lot less lonely now when I'm single.
I'll tell you what's lonelier than being in a relationship or an uncomfortable relationship is, and I hope that you have some young mom listeners, because nobody really talks about this that much, but early motherhood is devastatingly lonely.
Yeah.
No, I hear that from my community. And I really, really think that like it's insane how for all of history, women haven't felt empowered to speak on that. And this is the first, this is another good thing about social media. Obviously, I'm not a mom, but a lot of young moms write to me, or not even young moms, just first-time moms write to me. And they're like, I'm so lonely. I miss my friends. I can't leave the house. My partner's being weird. And it's just like women have not been allowed to speak about that for all of history. Now, all of a sudden, everyone's coming out of their, little house and being like, wait, this is really, really difficult and nobody's helping me. And I'm super isolated and I miss my own life and I need some help. And I think it's amazing. And I think I think a lot of women feel guilty for saying that because maybe they wanted a baby for a really long time, or this is, they've just been a dream of theirs. And then it's like, they're super lonely. And I think it's important that we talk about it so that they realize how normal it is.
Sometimes pumps, you can just take a risk and scroll on Instagram. It's something is suggested for you to buy, you buy it, you get it in. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and you can risk it. But when it comes to picking a doctor, you simply cannot risk it because you have to prioritize your health. That's why I love, love, love ZocDoc.
What I really like about ZocDoc is that it tells you the providers in your area that take your insurance and facilitates making the appointment.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and much more. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/I've had it to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/I've had it. ZocDoc.com/I've had it. You know what I've had it with?
What have you had it with?
Talking about what men need to do if they get a 4-hour erection. I want to start talking about my 4-hour nap after sex, but where's my option? I did some homework and it turns out there is a pink pill for women. It's called Addyi, and a woman got it approved by the FDA. In clinical trials, Addyi was shown to boost sex drive in certain premenopausal women bothered by low libido. Hell yes, it's prescription and the only FDA-approved pink pill. I asked my doctor about it, but you can speak to a telehealth provider online at Addyi.com, ADDYI.com. Finally, can those be the Super Bowl ads from now on?
Addyi, or flibanserin, is for premenopausal women with acquired generalized hypoactive sexual desire disorder, HSDD, who have not had problems with low sexual desire in the past, who have low sexual desire no matter the type of sexual activity, the situation, or the sexual partner. The low sexual desire is troubling to them and is not due to a medical or mental health problem, problems in the relationship, or medicine or other drug use. Addyi is not for use in men or to enhance sexual performance. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is increased if you drink 1 to 2 standard alcoholic drinks close in time to your Addyi dose. Wait at least 2 hours after drinking before taking Addyi at bedtime. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is also increased if you take certain prescriptions, over-the-counter or herbal medications, or have liver problems. Low blood pressure and fainting can happen when you take Addyi, even if you don't drink alcohol or take other medicines. Do not take if you are allergic to any of the ingredients in Addyi. Allergic reactions may include hives, itching, or trouble breathing. Sleepiness, sometimes serious, can occur. Common side effects include dizziness, nausea, tiredness, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, and dry mouth. See full PI and medication guide, including boxed warning, at addyi.com/PI or call 844-PINK-PILL. Addyi.
ADDYI.com.
Okay, I have to ask you one question. So we've talked about a lot at our age. It was, you have to get married, you have to have kids. Like that's, yeah, go to college, you can have a career, but your primary career is get married, have kids. It never occurred to me that wasn't what I was going to do. So I see your generation, you know, you're in your early 30s, you're not married. I feel like you're so much more empowered than we were because you have the choice. You don't have to get married. You don't have to have kids. There's not that pressure. So my question is, how much of that pressure still exists?
I think it definitely still exists. I mean, I have a lot of the questions that I receive are about, you know, I feel behind, I feel left out. But at the same time, I think that my generation specifically right now, we're kind of in this paradigm shift. We're like living through it where we are starting to figure out, okay, we don't necessarily need to do that to be happy, but we also still feel the pressure from the older generations and things that have come before us. So we're kind of in between a little bit. I think the pressure still exists, but I also think the competing force is that women don't want to settle. For the first time, they're like, I would rather be alone than to saddle myself with a man who's just going to become another child for me. And that's what happens to so many women, is that they feel this pressure. They're like, okay, whatever, this guy's fine. They have kids. They give up so much of their own life. And then this marriage dream, this kid's dream, it's just not what people told them. More single women own homes in the US than single men. Women are excelling in every single vertical. I was listening to Scott Galloway a while, and he said that if admissions were gender blind in universities, they predict that 75% of university admittance would be female.
Yeah.
Women are excelling and outperforming men in every area. So it's just, I think we're in this adjustment period where we're kind of, again, feeling empowered. We are not succumbing to pressure, and we want, you know, and I say all that, but then I also want to say that, like, that doesn't mean that single women don't want to find love. Like,
Right.
I think that's like there's obviously a negative dialogue being pushed, like, oh, well, they're just like these ball busters. They don't need anything. They don't want anything. They're very anti-men. That's not true.
Right.
Of course we're excited to find someone, but I'm not going to settle for some random dude just because I want to have an Instagram wedding.
Right.
That's the smartest thing
Yeah.
I've ever heard. And I'm so grateful that you said that, because I see so many girls that grab the guy at the right time to have the Instagram wedding. 3 or 4 years later, it's divorce city.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and the
miserable.
parents spent well into 6 figures for the Instagram wedding. And when I see women like you and other women of your generation that are just embracing being single, embracing having careers, embracing like messaging positive things for women, it brings me so much joy, because we fell into the whole trap. And I'm telling you, our marriages were hard,
Disasters.
difficult, painful. And not that can't, I mean, of course that happens to everybody, but I really love the trend that women are embracing, that you do not have to do that. You do not have to fall for that. Okay, Tinx, I want to play a game with you called Had It or Hit It.
Okay.
Oh my God. Welcome to Had It or Hit It. I would hit it.
Had it.
Had it. I hit it every day, sometimes twice a day. Okay. Had it or hit it, bras.
Had it. I never wore a bra.
I'm so jealous.
I'm very pro nipple. I think, you know, growing up, I was very self-conscious about having small boobs, but it's like, you know, you have a choice. You can make whatever you're self-conscious about your greatest asset. And for me now, I wear all these little sheer tops and just show my nipples. And I think it's very sexy and cute. And I think rock what you've got and just, you know, show it off, you know, unless some women have to wear bras. Obviously, I get that. But for me, I've had it.
Yeah, I'm
Pumps
so
has
jealous.
to
of that.
wear
I
'em.
have these huge sagging dragon boobs, and I'm always so jealous of the person with the little bitty insect bite boobs. And I'm just like, they don't have a bra. I wish I were them. I guess you always want what you don't have.
Exactly.
Okay, had it or hit it, cats.
Oh my God, I'm cat lady for life. I'm all the stereotypes of a crazy cat lady. I have 2 cats and I love them so much. And I think they're very misunderstood. I try to do as much cat PR as possible and use my platform to change the terrible misconceptions about cats, but it's a slow road, you know?
I'm part of the problem. I'm not a big cat person.
I know, but I truly think that anybody who is not a cat person just hasn't been around a good cat.
That's probably true because I've only been around her cat, and she has an awful cat.
She wants to kill my cat.
I
She
don't wanna
wants me to
kill it.
euthanize my
It's a
cat.
16-year-old cat. It doesn't pee in the litter box. I'm just like, get with the vet. It's
Yeah.
a quality versus quantity thing for me.
I get that.
I would want you to put me down if I'm peeing out in the bathroom, not on the toilet.
She still purrs. I put the puppy
Oh,
a puppy pad down. She pees on the pad. It's not like she's rogue peeing throughout the house pumps.
No, I know, but
You're just an
saying.
evil person when it comes to this cat. You're wanting me to kill the cat. She encourages me constantly to call the
I
vet
didn't-
to kill the cat.
I just said it would
no,
be
I know.
It would be
Non-cat people are so
horrible.
they're awful. I mean, you guys, their cats are so misunderstood, but I'm a cat lady forever.
Okay.
I love that.
Tinx, had it or hit it, Diet Coke.
I mean, I drink 4 Diet Cokes a day. I love it. I'm obsessed with Diet Coke. It's not bad for you, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, but I know for a fact that it's not bad for you because it makes me feel so good. It settles my stomach. It puts me in a good mood. I'm going to rip one right after this. Actually, I absolutely love it forever. I would never give it up.
Okay, Tinx, I'm going to say something. I have a really controversial take. I fucking had it with Diet Cokes.
See, I like Diet
Why?
Coke. I like Diet Dr. Pepper.
It just because I
Oh.
feel like the Diet Coke people are kind of culty about the Diet Coke.
For sure, we are.
And I think that they're overhydrators. Let me ask you this. Are you a Stanley Cup carrier?
No, I actually have my own line of reusable water bottles, so I carry those instead. They're way better than Stanley. The Stanley is too big. It's like all these
Agree.
accessories, and it's like it weighs 1,000,000 pounds, and when you put it in the car holder, it flips over. It's too big, and it's unsightly. Okay, mine are so cute. Mine are called ESWBs, emotional support water bottles, and they're the cutest patterns, the perfect size. It's not too much. You don't need to be carrying around a small a swimming pool with you.
I
It's just
agree. Let me
much.
ask you this.
Okay.
Are you dehydrated all the time?
No,
You feel hydrated.
I'm very hydrated. Yeah.
You don't feel thirsty all the time.
No, but I mean, the water quality in America is so bad that's why Americans are always drinking so much water and you never feel hydrated. It's because there's no minerals in our water. So when you go to Europe and you drink that's why everyone in Europe is always like, why are these Americans always carrying 50 water bottles with them? It's because our water doesn't hydrate us.
This is good to know because I've really noticed this epidemic of the dehydration
Yeah,
in
she's
America.
all
And
over
it's
it.
just, it's something that really bugs the shit out of me. It drives me crazy, especially where we live, this hydration theater with the cups. And it's like this fetish with the Stanley Cup. And then people know how much I hate them. So they send me these Instagram reels where these cups have full-blown wardrobes and
Purses.
backpacks and purses and skirts and trays.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have had it. I feel like it's the end of civilization that this is what we're valuing. We're making videos about it. Your
I
cup
know.
has a purse. It's just more than I can take. It just has brought me to my knees on this thing. I'm just begging people to drink less water, basically, so I don't have to look at these cups.
Agree.
Okay. Had it or hit it, do not disturb.
Had it. It's what are you, unless you're performing heart surgery, why do you need to not have it? It's so annoying. People are so self-important with their silence notifications. I'm I want to reach you. I want to talk to you right now. Pick up my phone. Call. Everything. So annoying.
I'll tell you how I'm such a nut about my sleep and like my wind down time. I have my phone set to go on do not disturb, like bedtime at like 8 p.m. And then it stays till like, because I go to bed really early and wake up early, and I wake up and I have like 20 texts from all of these people that are living this life in these hours that I'm completely unfamiliar with. And now a lot of them are like, do not disturb. What are you, so fucking important, Jennifer? And I mean, I deserve the call out. I mean, I deserve it.
Yeah, mine goes on early too. Mine goes on
No,
at
that's
9.
good. That's good to do the wind down time. And then it's extra fun if you have like, you're like, I have so many texts in the morning. That's kind of fun.
But then here's the
I'm
problem.
so popular.
If I get up at 5, it's such a dick over move for me to text them back at that time. So I think
No, then you're like, you're saying you're literally a better person. You're like,
exactly.
I'm seizing the day while your ass is in bed.
So I pause I'm like, okay, I'll return these texts when I get into the office around 8 or 9, and then I totally forget, and then I'm just participating in a full-blown ghost after the do not disturb, and I'm just a total asshole. Yeah. All right, Tinx, is there anything else hard-hitting that you've had it with that you need to share with our listeners, or anything you're promoting, or anything you'd like to stomp out in society?
What would I like to stomp out?
What is this Banana Barricade? What does that mean?
Oh, the Banana Brigade is just a name for a group of people that I online where I use the word Banana Brigade because one time I put up like, oh, I love bananas. And someone wrote to me and was like, Tinx, with your platform, you really should be so careful about, encouraging people to eat bananas because if they ate 8 in one day, they could die. And it's like, it's that type of person, which there is plenty on the internet. I mean, you know what I want to stomp out? I want us to stop allowing the fringe 0.3% of the internet be the loudest on the internet. Like everybody that I meet and I talk to in real life on the internet is such a normal person, and everybody has had it with the psycho extremists online, but they are the loudest people and we allow them to control the internet. So what I've had it with is that, and I think that we need to have a return to decency, being sensible, being kind, and just sort of good values. Like I really think that most people really want that. And we need to all kind of help usher in this new era. I think we're all desperate for that, honestly.
Totally agree.
Tinx, I see what all the hype is about. I see why everybody is obsessed with you. You're fabulous. Your messaging is great. You're very relatable, very realistic. This is the kind of influencer I'm down with right here.
100%.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. This was so much fun. You're both so wonderful, great, easy to talk to. And here's hoping that no more Cybertrucks get sold, especially in Oklahoma.
No
Totally.
Okay.
Bye, Tinx. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye. I absolutely love Tinx.
I love Tinx. I love that the 8 bananas a day. What the fuck is that? I love that I got a definition for chuggy because I really wanted to be cool and I just knew I wasn't.
It's a cheesy millennial thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got. I got cheesy out of it, but I just wasn't sure. So I like that.
I got it. I'm going to show you these Cybertrucks.
Anything Elon Musk does, I just have had it with.
Yeah.
He just grosses me out to the core of my being.
Yeah.
And it's probably only because of Twitter. Like we've gotten in Ubers that are Teslas and they're fine. I mean, I don't think they're like setting the world on fire, but they're fine.
Yeah.
But I just can't stand him. He's gross.
And I don't get like the whole, like he has all these kids.
He just had another one. I read it last night.
He has all these kids and he makes cars that are good for the environment, but he votes, and he's a deadbeat father, Elon Musk, and then he votes for all these people who are like, we need to bring back family values and global warming is a hoax. He's a real weirdo. But I think he takes a lot of hallucinogenic drugs, I've read. So that would distort one's reality quite a bit.
Yeah, I did read that.
If you're tripping on shit all the time.
Right.
All right. Well, all right. I think that's all we've got for today.
That's it. We will see you next Tuesday or Thursday or both.
I'll tell you what I've had it with.